Hey there guys, it's Anthony here from Cutting Edge Guitar, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing with you whether you should be using thick or thin guitar picks. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, first things first, a little bit of housekeeping. This question has come from some of my members and subscribers of Cutting Edge Guitar. If you want to get involved in asking me questions that I want to answer here in the YouTube channel, consider joining Cutting Edge Guitar. Look at the members area at the link in my bio where you can discuss all kinds of guitar topics. You can ask me questions that I'll answer through the YouTube channel. Join a network of wicked guitar players and a growing group of guitar players where you can express yourself, jam, talk about gear, talk about anything that you want to do. Okay, so this question has come from one of my subscribers and one of my students who is basically, I get questions like this all the time anyway. In my career as a guitar teacher, I've been asked this loads. Should I be using a thick or a thin pick? And the answer to this is it's very dependent on what you're playing on the guitar at the time. So my go-to pick of choice at the moment, and I have tried gazillions of plectrums over the years, I am currently using Jim Dunlop Flow Gloss Picks 2.0 2mm. Now that does not mean everyone who watches this video should go out and buy these because this is the pick that you need to use. That's not what I'm saying, and plus I'm not endorsed by Jim Dunlop or anything like that. This is just something that I like to use. The reason why I'm using it, well, I like to play a lot of lead guitar. When you're playing lead guitar, a thicker plectrum is a better option. Well, when I say a better option, it kind of is a more flexible option, is probably the way of thinking about it. The thicker style of pick is better for alternate picking. You've got a bit more control over a thicker pick, and then also it's not just about the thickness. With something like this, there are loads and loads of plectrums like this type out there. It's about the pointed tip. A pointed tip which with a stiff plectrum and that is fairly thick gives you lots of control and the ability to articulate when you're playing lots of alternate pick lines like this stuff. So as the kind of player that I am, I like to play lots of technical guitar styles. That sort of thing is quite important. What I will also say about a pick that is thick, because of the fact that you can have more control over it, it is easier to play dynamically. So when you are playing lead guitar styles, there might be times where you really want to dig in. And there might be other times where you want to play quieter notes. If I want to bring that back into the louder stuff. So it's very easy to be dynamic with a thick, stiff plectrum. And that's my thoughts on it from a lead guitar perspective. However, I will throw in another opinion from a guitar player that I really love, because most people that I'm interested in, I mean, there's a picture of one particular guitar player I like up there. Most people that play that kind of way, they will use a thicker plectrum. However, I'm also a massive, massive fan of Frank Gambale, and Frank Gambale's picking technique is phenomenal, like beyond belief. Now, what Frank says, Frank goes for it's sort of like a medium gauge pick. So this, the Jim Dunlop Flow Thing 2.0 that I was using, you would call that a heavy gauge pick. Frank uses these kind of picks. So they're not this shape, actually. The ones that he uses, they are made by Planet Waves. This is a Planet Waves or D'Addario plectrum, but it's not the same shape as what Frank uses. Frank uses their like triangular shaped ones. This is what they call a precision pick. What I've done with this one, I've had my Cutting Edge Guitar logo put on it for a few of my students. That was kind of a cool thing to do with these. But anyway, the thing with this is made from Duralin, which is the same sort of thing as like Tortex that Jim Dunlop used and all that sort of stuff. And it's 1 mil. So this is what you'd call medium heavy. Now, the whole point of this is that you get a little bit of flex in a plectrum like this. The 2mm doesn't flex at all. This flexes. And what Frank says, he uses a style called economy picking, which means instead of alternate picking, where it's always down, up, down, up, down, up, with economy picking, what you would do, if I play this 3 notes per string passage, I would go down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 so that my pick is always moving in the same direction as my string changes. If I was to start that first string on an upstroke, I'd go up, down, up, all the way through. Up, down, up, 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 up, down. Now, because Frank is the champion of that style, what he is saying that he wants is he wants the pick to go like this and then have a little bit of flex to then ping off and land on the next string. Not many players out there who play technical styles will agree with Frank on that when you watch the interviews with them or you watch what they've got to say about it. But I must say that having tried these types of picks, and I've tried loads, a little bit of flex does feel really nice for economy picking. There's a little bit of sweep rather than just economy picking in there, but it feels nice for that technique. For me, the stiffer picks though feel nicer for the alternate picking thing. Now, you might not always be playing lead guitar. You might be strumming an acoustic like this. So when you're strumming your acoustic guitar, a really stiff pick is quite abrasive and it gives you quite a shrill, harsh sort of sound. So what you want when you're playing an acoustic guitar and strumming is you want a plectrum that's really quite flexible, because then that way you get a much nicer tone. Now the thing is with your thin picks, they are, in my opinion, and a lot of other pro guitar players' opinions, they're only really good for strumming the guitar, stuff like that. When you want to do individual picked notes or single picked notes and all that sort of stuff, they're quite difficult. So this is where something like the Dava picks come in. Dava picks are really, really good because what they've got this little section in the middle where it's got 3 grooves on it. And when you hold a Dava pick at the back groove, you've got a thin pick for your strumming. When you hold it on the middle groove, you've got a medium gauge pick. Which works nicely for your single note passages, but also strumming as well. And then when you hold it at the final groove at the end, that's really good for single note lead style picking. So with something like this, you've got the best of all 3 worlds. You've got a thin, you've got a medium, and you've got a heavy gauge. I will say this as a bit of a caveat on the Dava picks. They always feel quite thin to me. When you hold the groove that's at the front, they're still quite flexy. However, all 3 of those picks that I've talked about in this video, they are all picks that I use in my day-to-day as a guitar teacher, as a performer, and all the rest of it. So generally speaking, the summary is use thinner picks for strumming acoustic and use thicker picks for playing things like lead guitar and heavy rock riffing. Okay guys, I hope that video has helped you out. Please do check out Cutting Edge Guitar for all of my advanced guitar tuition products. We're talking about courses, books, downloadable lessons, all that sort of thing. And also, if you just want to support my YouTube channel and you want to get involved in asking questions that I can come in here and answer for you, consider joining a member on the standard tier. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you next time.